Well, hello YouTube. I'm back for another Transformers unboxing reveal, and today's bot is something a little different in terms of what kind of robot he is. It's the first of a few that I'll actually have over the next while. This guy is a Decepticon. He showed up. Season 2 and Season 3 of the Transformers was divided by the Transformers movie in 1986, where there were sweeping changes in the character lineup, the toys, everything. The plot thickened, the time warped ahead 20 years, whatever the hell it was. So there were sweeping changes. This character showed up in the first episode of Season 3 after the movie, in the Five Faces of Darkness 5-part episode that focused on the quintessons and what was started in the movie continued on, and more information on them and whatever. And this character shows up really gradually at first and then brings on a bit of a bigger role for himself. He never gets to be huge or anything like that, but he has an episode or two focused on him and stuff, and you do get to see a little more about him as those episodes go by, and he does gain a bit of focus eventually. So, without further ado, it is the Decepticon Octane. Or fuel supply provider, if you will. This toy is actually the first of a brand that I haven't gone with yet, called Unique Toys. So this is the first, and I think the only one I have of that line so far. And so we'll see kind of what this toy is all about once I get him out. Hopefully he's easy to transform after last week and Cup's weird transformation. I hope this guy's easy. And I also hope he's easy for another reason, and that is that he is the first of a few triple changers I will feature. So a triple changer, if you're not familiar with Transformers, is a robot who actually has 2 alternate mode forms. So Octane, as you may have gained by his name, he's focused on fuel and energy. He was not really a warrior per se, and he wasn't really super loyal to the Decepticon cause either. He was more kind of a guy who was kind of aloof, more out for himself, not really a warrior. His focus was the fact that he could sniff out sources of energy and fuel, which of course Megatron, or Galvatron I guess, what he became at the time, found that a really useful quality, and was really the only reason why he kept Octane around. So Octane's alternate modes is a tanker truck to transport fuel, as well as what looks like a passenger plane, but is actually like a refueling jet sort of thing. So you can tell he's very focused on the whole fuel aspect. Now Octane eventually fell out of favor with the Decepticons after he kind of went off on his own and did some stuff with Trypticon, the big dinosaur, and eventually had to turn to the Autobots for Sanctuary, and eventually developed a really close relationship with an Autobot triple changer named Sandstorm. So I'm going to show you a clip here right now, which is one of the episodes that he was really focused in, and it has to do with the relationship he develops with the huge Decepticon city known as Trypticon, the giant dinosaur, and kind of what they got up to after Trypticon was dealt a defeat by the Autobot city, Metroplex. So here we go.
And off on the starboard bow, we have the African nation of Carbomia, a desert kingdom ruled by the controversial military commander Abdul Fakadi.
Isn't it dangerous to cruise near here?
Yeah, sometimes innocent ships get attacked.
There's no danger, I assure you. As long as we stay beyond the 3-mile limit, no one will harm us. There's no cause for panic. We're protected by international law.
Don't go over and flatten yourself so much. You're just beginning to recover. I don't want you wearing yourself out, Tripty Babes.
I'm big hero now.
Attack enemy boat! Yeah? You're wasting all your energy shooting at vacation cruise ships. No waste. Destroy dangerous enemy. Sit down. Rest. Walk too far. It's just like I told you, lizard brain. You're still convalescent. You haven't gotten over that bashing you took from Metroplex. Should have stayed longer on Dinobot Island. Don't like Carbomia. Hey, you loony or something? The climate of Carbomia is much better for your health, and the oil here makes the best energon in the galaxy.
Those two Decepticons have outlived their usefulness to me. I can no longer tolerate them in Carbomia.
With all due respect, Your Excellency, Tripticon and Octane have been very useful.
They've kept the fanatics and imperialists away from our coastline, Your Worthiness.
Yes, but at what price? Do you realize how much of our oil they're stealing to make their whatever you call that beverage they drink?
Energon, Your Eminence.
Yes, energon. 1,000 barrels of oil makes one tiny cube of energon. And that big Decepticon, that dinosaur named Tripticon, he drinks 50 energon cubes an hour.
Carbonian energon can make me the strongest Decepticon in the galaxy. And I guarantee you'll be as good as new in 6 months. 6 months? You promised just 1 more week.
As Supreme Military Commander, King of Kings, and President for life of the Socialist Democratic Federated Republic of Carbomia, I order you Decepticons out of my country by sunset tomorrow.
Out? You're kicking us out? Us?
You have until sunset tomorrow, or I will call in the Autobots and have you executed in the town square.
Hold on there, Supreme Whatever. Who's gonna guard your coastline if you don't have us?
I will install radar-guided rocket defenses.
Tripticon and me want to turn your country into a paradise.
It already is a paradise.
Just a minute. I mean a rich paradise. Do you like gold?
Gold? Yes, this is something that interests Abdul Fakati. But it would take all the gold of the United States to persuade me to let you stay here another day.
You sure ain't easy to please, Your Excellency.
So from that clip, you can kind of see that Octane, he doesn't really fit the normal Decepticon mold, right? He's not a super aggressive, I'll just take what I want sort of thing, right? You can see him kind of, hey, baby, try to sweet talk him, and this guy of Carbomia is just like dictating to Octane what's going to happen, whereas Octane and Tripticon could just wipe the whole country out if they wanted to and get rid of these humans. But he's like, no, let me, so he's not your typical Decepticon, which is probably why he eventually fell out of favor with them and did what he did after. So now, I never had his toy, his G1 toy. I think my cousins might have, because I remember playing with him when I was a kid. So either family, friends, or my cousins must have had him. But I always thought he was a cool toy and character in general, because he really had these recognizable. You can see his wings coming out the back. You could always tell who it was because of those giant wings sticking out of his back. And even if you just saw the silhouette of Octane, it's like, oh, that's Octane, right? So he was a really unique, identifiable character, in his color schemes too, with the gray and the purple and stuff. So that being said, let's have a look at his G1 toy here. I thought he was kind of an average G1 toy. Like, he wasn't perfect like Optimus Prime, but he wasn't pathetic like, say, an Ironhide or a Ratchet, you know, with where's his head, right? I thought he was somewhere in the middle sort of thing. But like I said, never had his toy, but did enjoy playing with him when I got the chance. But now I get to play with him all I want in a much more convincing toy mold. So let's get him out of the package and see what my first purchase from Unique Toys is gonna look like. Here we go with Fuel Supply Provider. Release the tape. Okay. I'm hoping he's in like transport form and not robot mode, because then I only have to transform him twice instead of 3 times. Right? But we'll see. Yep, perfect. Makes sense, right? The easiest way to package the big long truck. Not a jet with big wings sticking out, or a robot with big wings sticking out. So there he is. He looks pretty big. I love it. I did some research on different Octanes out there. There weren't a lot, but this one seemed like the coolest one and the best value too. So it's got a different face in there. This is the only accoutrement I see so far. Cool cards. Nice laminated one. Instructions, of course, his face. And looks like he'll probably have some of his other accoutrements in here with him in the trailer. Yeah, so there's his blaster on top, but it doesn't look like he's got much else in there. But as you can see, like rubber wheels, pretty big size, and I get the feeling that his transformations are going to be a bit easier. He looks a little more like modeled after a original G1 kind of toy with more simpler transformations and stuff. But you know what? I shouldn't speak too soon, because I've been burned by thinking this is going to be easy before. So let's get him transformed into his 2 other modes, and we'll see how they look like. Sorry, not see how they look like. We'll see how they look. English still eludes me at 45 years old. So there he is in all of his glory. Beautiful, beautiful Octane. This toy, like I was hopefully predicting, based on just my overall impression and looks of it, I thought it was going to be an easier transform than some of the X-Transbots that I've done recently. And it was. It was a lot more straightforward. The instructions made a lot more sense in pointing things out. There was one step where I had to twist the wings around going into robot mode that it didn't explain that very well, but once I figured it out and back and forth a few times, I was like, oh, of course, right? So it was really, really good that way. And the toy itself, like, it's huge, right? Like, he's a big character, and you would expect that out of a guy that turns into a tanker truck and a fuel resupply aircraft, right? Like, and like I said, look at his profile with these massive wings sticking out behind him. which was one of his signatures from the cartoon, right? Now, when I was researching the Octane character toy options, sometimes I watch videos and I watch people nitpick stuff, right? One guy was saying, well, Octane's wings are normally like, they're sticking up like that, right? Or more like that, not down lower. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, like to me, that shit doesn't matter. As long as it generally looks like that character, whether his wings are at a 50-degree angle versus a 65, you know, they're not going to be perfect, right? In a lot of cases, like they have to develop these within the constraints that they have, right? So, so I thought this character was a really good transformation. He's a really good size, really good quality, and it was just nice that transformations were a lot easier, which makes it easier when you're doing a triple changer too, considering you have to do all those extra steps. The only thing I didn't really like was that his head, there's a bit of a gap between his head and his body where you can see just kind of the little post with the knob on it where it goes on. But again, that's just a small little nitpicky thing. But overall, like he just looks fantastic, and the rubber wheels and the way the engines look and stuff like that. This is just, I'm really happy with this character, and all three of his modes are fantastic. So I cannot wait to add him to my shelf. His wingspan might not treat how much space I have left on there very well for future editions, but we'll maybe see if we can fit him in at the back somewhere where he's up against the wall and the wings won't be that big of a deal. But anyways, Octane is in the books. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Peace.